online virtual product and even make money online now, then I'd love to help you through that journey.
To all the staff from Speakers Institute, you guys have been really supportive and really, really lovely and encouraging. But to everybody else, for all of your honesty and your courage for stepping up here and just giving, I've learned so much from every single one of you. It's just been really, really good.
I just wanted to say, being out of the workforce for 6 years, looking after the kids, and this is the first course I've ever done, and it was astounding. It blew my mind. It was beyond my expectations. And thank you, Kate, for the feedback today. That was brilliant, and it's given me the confidence to back myself, because I didn't have that before. Because you know, when you leave for a while and you come back, it's all a bit dodgy. So thank you.
Sam, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That has been absolutely awesome. I've learned a hell of a lot today, and I really feel like we're all improving. So thank you so much. It's been really awesome.
I wish everyone all the best on the course. I think it's a wonderful course. And Sam, you've created an amazing business, but I also want to congratulate the people you've got working underneath you, because it wouldn't be that great if you didn't have all this wonderful resource. And I congratulate them for supporting you. It's excellent.
I'd actually just like to thank Sam and the team so much for everything you've done. But I'd really like to thank everybody else. I have learned so much from all of you. It's just been so exhilarating. I'm so excited for each and every one of you, because it's just the growth in such a short space of time has been phenomenal. So thank you all very, very much.
So I want to say, look, I've forever been doing courses and programs. I've probably spent over $350,000 in my life. This was worth every cent. I'm very, very impressed with the level of knowledge of the coaches. And they just kept offering gold nugget after gold nugget. Definitely was worth every minute as well. So thanks.
Guys, I just wanted to say my work relies on face-to-face workshops, speaking at conferences around the world. So investing in this course is really about looking to the future. So it's really an investment in the long term. It's been a really, really professionally put together course. So commendations all round to all of you. politician. I am not an I don't do speeches. Who am I then? I am your day-to-day professional. A professional whose words matter. Why? Transform people's lives. I give them the smile they want. I give them the smile. I'm a dental surgeon. Well, sounds better than out all day. Nearly 13 years ago, when I escaped abuse in Australia with no family, no one, very little English, I built a multi-million-dollar health, multiple awards. In my journey as a leader, something was missing, wasn't there, something wasn't right. Literally stumbled upon in speech. Honest, I was end. Seen spoken over 5, spoken in international country, 21st, and 100 million. Like, is it? Art and beings over our differences. From where has it taken us? Where are we going? With artificial intelligence and machines knocking on our door, and a human hope to do, we need to start, because that's where fitness comes in. That's what we need with all our differences. I believe that our origin is the differences we have as human beings. So let's accept all the different and clear superpower.
Speak. Please give us any suggest.
Children, the of 14 big in New South Wales government, but I was more help their success. A bit of being I went and I thought, yeah, I set my talk 3 months later to knowing the world.
Welcome to Speakers TV, and wherever you are in the world, there is a reason why you've joined here on this amazing Wednesday. Guys, in this episode, we're going to bring to you some of the best speakers, some of the best influencers, and not only that, we're also showcasing a number of our students who have gone on to either write best-selling books, to be on TEDx stages, or ultimately get them to share their journey on how they made it from an ordinary life through to knowing exactly what their story is and then ultimately learning how to get that story out there. We truly believe in you, and I'm really glad you're tuning in to our Wednesday episode of Speakers TV. We'll see you on the other side. Super excited about this session. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Kanak Jain!
Enjoy. But in these 3 days, I have not seen a power move. That is something which is not with the speaker's tribe. So let's all stand. At least let's do it together. It's like I have attended boot camps for 6 times. Huh? You know why? Because we have done 6 times boot camps in India. And not only boot camps, this power move has become a natural way. It's required everywhere. Okay? So we all do it together. Spine straight, strand straight. Roll your shoulders back, chin up. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Give yourself a big applause. Yes. So in the last 3 days, actually, we have learned so much. I think there is no content which is required. So what I have decided that we will only do certain things which can engage each one of us, so that we can all assimilate whatever we have. Is that okay? Okay. bonus options with all of us, which was just amazing. So I talk on one topic, and that is only and only about money. So, who is not having a common connection with money? Everyone. So all of us are connected with money somehow or other way. Either we are doing a spiritual work or a business, or we have to manage our family, anything like that. So we really need to connect ourselves with money. So I created this game called the volatility game. Again, got inspired that there is someone who is dedicated his full life only on gamification and created 200 games. I think he needs a bigger applause. And I am a ready student for him that who's going to learn a lot from him. Because I am only focused to create games which is again related to money and money management. So this is one game I have created, and there are 9 more, which is again on this lines. Yes, the time is small, less rather. So I'm not going to conduct a game, but we will be doing certain engaging activities, and you will have an idea about how this game is conducted. This game is different for India, different for Australia, different for UK, and different for US. It's a global game which talks about money and the money markets, the PE ratios, and few more boring topics like that. But again, we need to know them, isn't it? So that's very, very important. So what I have something is we all can become money magnets. How many of us would like to become money magnets? Money magnets? So 100%. You already are. So can we give a big applause to her? free copies of my book. So the answers which actually impress me more, I'm going to give this copies. Okay. And I have chocolates in my once I finish with books, I get chocolates. So the question is, do we have a program called Who Will Become a Millionaire in Australia? That's everywhere. In India, we call it Kaun Banega Crorepati, which is one of the most important film stars. Plays that. Anyways, now the question is, if you Google, you will observe one thing, and that observation is, out of all these people who win a million or a half a million or whatever the amount is, within 1.5 to 2 years, they lose everything. Not only that, they become bankrupt. They are unable to maintain or retain the same position at what they were 1.5 to 2 years back. Same thing goes with people winning lottery tickets, horse race, or maybe selling land at a very high cost. Now the question is, why do you think this happens? Why do they become bankrupt? Yes. Okay, they don't have the knowledge of how to manage that money. They have a scarcity mindset. Yes. What mindset? Poverty mindset. Yeah, same. Scarcity, poverty. They have a little. Yes. They have not learned the lessons. Haven't learned to give. Amazing. They spend on their happiness, on things, yes, unexpected and unwanted expenses. They continue to yes. They have, they didn't have the money blueprint. I think 90% I'm close to what you actually are telling. So that's yes. they spend it. Okay, but why they become bankrupt? The question is, they are spending, but still they go like below the line. Like it's not a question of financial freedom, but it's like they are unable to even retain the same position. They are unable to get back to that. And this is you can read the top 10 stories, top 20 stories. This is there in Google. There are many, hundreds of stories like that. Okay. How many of us have read The Secret? Okay. Now can we answer? What's Secret all about? Preserve it, yes. It's all about law, able to retain. Repeat your answer. So, for her, the first book. Don't absolutely right, but they don't really have. If he because with him, oxygen is here. That's managed is very, very important. Money, what we attract? Spouse, the name, the boss, we what we attract. I think I'll do so. Slow change. This was percent of the people. Why do what you're doing? Because it's about 93%. In our continuously, especially if a child on your college and 80, that's the reason. There are two things as we rightly all the time. Most of us, I am talking about giving. Okay, I want to engage you in an activity which make it clear that yes, a lot of us are from philanthropy backgrounds and doing certain activities. People, then why to contribute to your vision? Why do we are doing? We all know how to inhale. Okay, can we all inhale and going out or coming in? Inhale. The belly is. See, this is obvious, no? We all are doing every time we have like in half of the people. So what? Yes, and we had yesterday. This is like it's when we put air and go out. 90% are because we are not breathing. Sit straight, and when I connected with money, inhale, inhale. God, I'm so sorry. Exhale, 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 exhale. Where did this guy? Are you going to cycle? Cycle. Unless you exhale, entitled to means until and unless not entitled to. So nature, so many examples in form of certain things which act that it is in. So contributing money for the whatever Sam you all are doing, the organization which is voluntary and which helping people to progress. So it is all about casino. So the next thing is, how many of, if let's say, I give you an example. If you have $1 to invest, okay, and that's for 31 days, and if I say that $1 will double every day, and at the end of 31 days, okay, you will get $10 million, which is $1 doubling every day, and you get $10 million, which is 1 and then 7 zeros within 1 month, 31 days. There is a disclaimer, there is no option available like this. And the second option is your money will double every day. And on 31st day, whatever the value is, you will get that. Which options you will invest or which options you will take? Both the options are guaranteed, let's say, by government. 10 million, one with 7 zeros, or $1 doubling every day and finally whatever the value is. $1 doubling. $1? $1 doubling. Doubling. How many is for doubling? Okay, and how many for 10 million guaranteed? One of you. So all those people who are guaranteed, that's okay. For rest of you, which means that you think that this option 2 is going to generate more returns. How much is that? Guesses. You can do calculations if you wish to.
100 million. 100 million.
10, 100. Okay. 100 million. 100 million he's telling. 10 million versus 100 million. Anyone else? In 31 days. It's doubling only. One, 2, 4, 8, and so on and so forth. I've written rupee, so you can understand that as a dollar. No calculations?
Is that 2.14 billion or is it 21 billion?
21 billion. Okay. 10 million is guaranteed, which is 1 with 7 zeros. And you are telling 1 with 8 zeros. See how it is going. This is just simple mathematics. And this is something which we call as the 8th wonder of the world. 1 with 9 zeros. It's how much? Not 100, it's 1,000. Okay. But I'll give this to you for your attempt. At least you had that courage of telling it 10 times. This is for you. Yes. So that's perfect. So this is one concept which is very, very important to understand the power of compounding. And if there is a goal and we really need to stick to that and then have faith in whatever we are doing. Same thing goes with our goal and same thing goes with the money, whatever is there. Now, at this point of time, I think the money has become taken over everyone. So find out a partner sitting next to you, okay? And just you need to do, or maybe you can stand and just look into his eyes. Stand face to face, have a partner. All of us. Okay, everybody is having a partner? Okay, please find out a partner. Dance. Okay, look into the eyes of the person standing next to you and greet him like this. Tell Namaste. Okay. Namaste means Sam's Namaste. Okay, that's absolutely it's yeah. I salute the divinity in you. This is the actual meaning of Namaste. You are not saluting the body, you are saluting the divinity, all the goodness in the other person. Okay? So once you do it, you just feel totally different. Now what you will have to do is shake hand. Wait, and this shake hand is 20 seconds. You will have to look into the eyes of that person and continuously smile. And as you are smiling, you will continue to shake your hands. Smile, laugh, shake hands. 20 minutes, 20 seconds. Not 20. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. See the smile all across. Left hand shake is for Sam. Okay. Give yourself a big applause and take your seat. How are you feeling now? Is the energy changed? It is so contagious when we are smiling and when we just look at each other, when we greet somebody, I think this becomes contagious. And in order to have money in our life, this level of energy, this level of what you can call this contagious energy should be there. Until and unless this is there, money is not going to be a part of your pocket. Because money is something which is very, very shy. It's like in India we call Nahi Naveri Dulhan, or just a newlywed girl. Okay? It's like very, very sensitive. And on the other side, poverty is something which is absolutely rough, tough, and shrew. It's not going to listen to anyone. So we really, really need to handle it very, very delicately. Okay. So may I have one volunteer? You raise the hand first, please come. Okay. So now let's. Okay. So now he is Mr. Money today. Okay. So as he is Mr. Money, now what is going to happen? All of us actually run after money, or like we want to have money. So what you have to do is you have to run. And I am just like an ordinary common man, like all of us, and I'm going to run after you and try to have you. You are Mr. Money, and money is it's little down. So run a little bit. Let's see you can how far. If I get you, I get all the money of the world. Amazing. Okay. Now come on. This is the situation with money. All of us just want to get it, but somehow we just don't get it because it's running. The legs are very, very fast. Don't look at the body. It's really, really very fast. Now, how many of us would like to have a scenario when money is running after you? Okay, so this time, money is running after me. I'm trying to get trapped. Okay, please. Who will not run? Who will stop? And even if I run a little more, he will come again. So how many of us would like to have a scenario, a situation like this? Can we give a big applause to him? Thank you very much. This is for you. So all of us would like to have a scenario wherein actually money is coming to us. And in order to do that, maybe certain blueprints, as she was telling, if it is there, or some formula is there, that can actually work. Don't you think? Are we interested in understanding some formula? Okay. Let's see if we have something. So what is money? Energy. Okay. In mathematics, how many of you have read this formula? X plus y square whole square equals to? Algebra. How many of you were good in mathematics? So anyone, please tell. None of you. That's the reason we all have. Okay. Any chemistry formula, physics formula, or a mathematics formula, or even a formula for water. Okay. We do have a formula for everything, which means that everything left hand side is equals to right hand side. And that same thing is true with money, which means there is a formula for money also. So are we interested in knowing that formula so that we all can actually work towards that? Working towards is something that is what we all can do. That is progress. From class 8 to 9 and then 10 and moving, that's progress. So understanding the formula is very, very important. So that's what I'm going to talk about. But before this formula, what is something which is very, very important is to have that money mindset, and the blueprint is in visualization. Looking at yourself. How many of you believe that visualization works? How many of us don't believe? No one. So everyone believes. Okay. So this is something which I'm adding to your knowledge about how it actually works. Can all of you just stand? We'll just prove it, how it is so very powerful. Maybe till date, we just believe that visualization works. But it can work in 30 seconds. We will just see it like this. Okay? Stand straight. Just raise your hand like this. Now, we will just move to our For Sam, he can do it with left hand, or like all of us, whatever. One hand. Whichever side your hand is, if it is right, we will just move 360 degree towards that, or as much. 360 is not possible. So as much, and just make an observation till what level it has gone. Okay? Just make an observation. Just try to rotate. Rotate to your right, and just see wherever it goes. Come back. You made an observation. Now just come, relax. Okay. Just stand straight now. Close your eyes. Now you will have to visualize. Don't do it. Visualize that your hand is going up the same way. Close your eyes and visualize hand is going up. You are moving right. A little more, a little more, a little more. Almost 360 degree. As much as possible. Try to stretch yourself and come back. We'll do it once again. Just raise your hand without the actual hand movement. It's only a visualization with your closed eyes. Move to your right again. Stretch yourself as much as possible. 360 degree. A little more. Stretch yourself. Okay, come back to normal. Now open your eyes. Raise your hand. Move towards right as much as possible. This time. What is the progress? Can you give yourself a big applause? Be seated. And friends, this is how much? 30 seconds? All of us believe that visualization works, but it actually works in 30 seconds. This is amazing. We all can actually do visualize, but the problem is we all believe that visualization works, but we don't visualize. We visualize wrong things. So if we all can actually visualize something we actually desire in life, I think that can work in much better way. And the second thing is, somebody yesterday was talking about was power of spoken words. Okay. How many of you think the power of spoken words work? Okay. How many of you think power of spoken words don't work? Oh my God, this is like an audience. See, I conducted this volatility game 100 times in 2017 in 40 different cities in India. This has been done with more than 5,000 people by me alone. And now there are 40 more trainers who are conducting these programs and these activities all across India. So which means we are actually engaging at least 5,000 people every month in this year. And this is actually growing. And the same thing, obviously I propose to do the same things in Australia and various other countries. But again, how this power of spoken word works, okay? You'd like to have another demo for that? Okay, sit straight. Just look at your left hand. Achha, before you're looking at the left hand, just see, check whether both your hands are same size or not. So they are same. Now look at your left hand. Put your right hand down. Left hand. Just look at it, look at it, look at it, and say it's growing. It's growing. You tell it. You're growing, you're growing, you're expanding, you're becoming bigger, bigger, and bigger. You're really grown. It's really big. Okay. Inhale, it's very big. Now just see, check which one is. Do it. Which one is bigger? I don't want that to remain big. So come back, become normal. Tell your left hand again. You're normal. You're normal. You're normal. Okay. Yes. Now I think it will be okay. So how many of you actually saw that it actually became big? Some of you. Okay, good. This actually works. Maybe for some others, if it has not worked, it is because the time was less. We did it 5 times, 6 times. Probably if we have done it 10 times, 15 times, it works. Because spoken words, it works, it magically works for everyone in any scenario. So these are, it's not about proving that whether whatever I am telling or whatever has been said is correct, which actually we all can see in front of us. Just we can, not all these things work or not. But again, coming back to the formula, Stephen R. Covey, how many of you have read his books? 7 Habits, 8 Habits. 8 Habits, anyone who has read? So this is a formula given by Stephen Covey, which talks about in industrial age, it's like money is equals to time into effort. So whatever you are doing, okay, if you are a engineer or a chartered accountant, that's your effort. And then the time which you give, based on that, money is something which you get. Which means if you give more time and if you have more efforts, you will make more money. Is this formula correct today?
No.
No. Now the question is, if this is not correct, then what is correct?
Leverage.
Okay, that's a part of effort. Companies, what they do, obviously they create. You can tell an example of, let's say, or you can tell an example of Microsoft. They are growing 10,000 effort. Yes, they have leverage, they have everything, so many people. But again, so many people, so much of time, they are generating the same amount of money. So what is so different about Amazon and maybe any other company? Why is the money which they get is 10,000x?
Attraction.
Attraction? Yes, we already have discussed that. But now the money is, we are trying to understand a formula. System is a part of effort. If you don't have that system, if you don't have that leverage, how will you do the business? Even a very small business should have a very system. Replication, yes, the number of people replicated and then time also replicated and the money is there. So that's it. But what is that extra? What is so different about Amazon? My 7-year-old son, if he is willing to change his school bag, he will just go to Amazon and he will select something and then he will tell Papa order. It's like that. So these days, kids, they just only understand what is Amazon. In India also, in Australia and US, it's very common. Yes. Huh? Oh, scale. Scale again, it's leverage. Scale is more or less on the same line. You all are right. It's a part of something. Convenience. Yes, you have to create convenience. Yes, not an. Yeah, innovation, scale up, it's all a part of effort. You have innovated because there is a innovation you have actually done. Yeah? Yes, intellectual ideas, intellectual properties, this is also a part of effort. But many a times, let's say take the same example of Amazon. Amazon is having an idea, the technology, the intellectual things, but same Amazon, before Amazon there were, I think, more than 10 companies which came and which had the same format, but they failed. And after Amazon, there are maybe more than 1,000 companies. They are also not that successful. But why Amazon is successful?
They give value.
They give value. Yes, value is a part of effort. But you're 90% correct. You're coming close. Who told value? Value is 90%. Okay, see, everyone is right. Will not. Yes, we'll have your answer.
Diversification.
It's
Diversification.
yeah, working smart. Yeah, smart and hard work. Actually, yes, all your answers is part of a result. If you start your work on day 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 30th and 31st, if there is no result, even if you have put your time and effort, nobody is going to pay you. Whether it is this corporate world or even you are an entrepreneur or anything, value is the closest thing which is there. See, in this hotel, if you want to have a cup of coffee, how much do you pay? And the same coffee, what is the ingredient of that coffee? How many grams? Maybe actual coffee is 2 grams in that whole pot. At the same coffee, if you are having it at maybe Starbucks or maybe some other restaurant which is not, it's different. Same coffee, same ingredients, but we are paying more at a certain different place because of that experience, because of that value, because of the results which we are getting. So whatever we are doing to earn our living, is that giving value? Is that adding results to whatever we are doing? If that is, it's going to work for all of us. Making sense? Yeah. Okay. This is something which I created, a life of a man in Australia. How how you start the day. And each and every thing which you are actually consuming throughout the day is a part of your ASX 50, is a part of something which is there listed on your exchange. Till date, you are thinking that all of these is just a consumption for you. You have actually consumed. You are consuming and consuming and consuming. And that's an expense for you. How about making all this consumption your source of income? If you have them in your portfolio, if you invest in your own country, if you invest in your own economy, in the top listed companies, you are not only helping your nation, you are not only making your expenses, actually you are turning them into income. Because this is something which you will consume throughout your life. And the more you consume, more are the chances that you will be earning and earning and earning out of that. As the consumptions continue and they increase, more is the chance of the prosperity of you as an individual and you as a nation. All this developed, why a nation is like developing or underdeveloped or developing? What is the basic difference? What is the basic difference?
Increased consumption.
Consumption and the per capita income. If you as an individual, if you are earning more, your country is developed. Your country will only and only develop if you as an individual is earning. So my dear friends, money is something which is very spiritual, I'll say. We all really need to make a lot of money. Because if money is there in your possession and not with Osama bin Laden, it's going to work well, it's going to help a lot of people. Money is something which actually, if it is there with you, and having a mindset of money so that you can have more money so that you can do actually good to the whole world. And by all this, we actually can help not only ourselves, but the whole world together. Isn't it? There are leaders all across. Who do you think is the most significant leader at this point of time? Sam. He is, no doubt. And we give a big applause to Sam. Okay, are the spiritual leaders significant? Are the political leaders significant? Are the company leaders? Maybe. I think in the coming era of next maybe 100 years or 200 years of the humanity, the financial leaders, the leaders who will be managing money are the most important leaders. And these are the leaders who can actually make a difference in everyone else's life. So there is something called PD. How many of you are anybody banker over here? You know this? PDC. Post-dated checks? No. Heard this word, post-dated checks? But for a leader, the true financial leader who can actually become a money magnet so that he can actually influence people, this is something which is very important. So what is P? P stands for the purity. Whatever you are doing, it should be pure. Until and unless it is pure, it's not going to work. Second is, guesses? And the third is? Courage. C's come double. So, you know this. So all those people all of you sitting in this room, if whatever work we do in order to get money or get our work through, if there is a purity, And if the decision is taken and if the courage is there, money is there instantly to follow you. And I have something more to share with you. Before I go, I just have a little puzzle for all of you. These are the 9 dots. You can all do this, and you have 4 lines. Simple. This is a very, very common thing. 4 lines. You have to connect all the 9 dots with 4 lines. Okay? Just 1. You cannot pull this up. Then 2, then 3, and then 4. Or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this is left. So just try it out. And whoever is done, please raise your hand. You have done. Oh, gamification masters. Anyone else? Otherwise, you have done it? Okay. Can you bring your pad? You have done? Can you show it? No, you cannot raise your, it's not correct. Without raising the pen, at one go, 4 lines, you have limited resources and you have a lot to get. Are limited, which means 4 lines you have, and you have 9 dots to cover, and the wealth which you actually want is 9 dots, because that's your targets, that is what is required for your family, for your organization, or whatever it is. And if you don't get that, it's done, it's a failure. It has to be, see, 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has to be 4. Yeah, you are right. Anyone else? No one? You have tried? Yes. Last 10 seconds. Yes, you are also right. So 2 of you, may I request both of you to come? Okay, let's see the results. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You do it. Both of you are right, so you can do it.
Very good.
Did I give you a book last time? This is for you. This is for you. Can you have a big applause for that? Yay! Congratulations. So, my dear friends, this is there, and this is a song which will actually create a financial freedom. These are some of the freedom fighters of India. So each one sitting in this room is not less than a freedom fighter, because I know Australia was never governed or ruled by any other country. But today, controlling a country, you need to just do what? You just need to control all the equities of a country and the top companies. That's what people are doing, foreign institutional investors are doing. So as a nation, as an individual of your country, what you really need to do is invest for yourself in your country, okay, and make yourself rich. And once you have done that, I think the prosperity and the financial freedom will automatically follow. My dear friends, thank you very much. And for this Speaker's Right, financial freedom, when we are a part of this, we are also financially becoming free by learning, able to speak. That is something more and more important. This whole mechanism, whole thing is actually growing in India in a big way. We will have Speaker's Right conference in India also, that's for sure, in 2019, just after this. And we continue to grow and prosper. There is one more thing. Sam, would you like to please come up? As Sam mentioned, that there is something which we do called graphology. I'll be sitting there. All of you can just one-to-one. I can tell you your 5 things about you, maybe strength or weaknesses or something for next 1 or 2 hours, as long as I'm there during the tea break and all. So we all can have an opportunity to interact and know yourself a little more. Know yourself a little more about money, because your tells everything. About wealth, about your money, about your relationship, everything. Relationship also, everything. So it includes everything. And this volatility, if this can be shared of Australia and investors, especially like Fran, people like her who are actually dealing into finance. So if these type of people can conduct this program for the people of Australia, this will be very good. So I look forward working very, very close with each one of you, and Sam obviously is here. Thank you, Sam.
Sam Cawthorne here, CEO and founder of Speakers Institute. If you give me 60 seconds of your time, I'll show you how to set up an online webinar in 48 hours while growing your authentic followers to tens of thousands, and then teach you how to package your IP so they buy your programs online using what we call influence on video. What this means is you talk to camera, share your value, and then stack your offerings and create urgency in a way that makes it so irresistible that they click the button and purchase your high ticket sale. Talk with any of our clients globally, and I promise you will not find anyone that does what we do. All you have to do is to create an online event, share your ideas, and then stack your offerings just like this. And here's the big secret. Everyone is online right now searching for people just like you to help them learn things that you already know. There are people doing it right now, but they probably don't know as much as you. So right now is your chance to learn how to sell online, and my influence on video formula is easy to use and foolproof for anyone to master. Just recently, I did a 1.5 hour video online to only 40 people, and at the end, 10 of them bought my $4,000 product, all by one click of the button. It was seamless. So if you want me to show you how to influence on video, stack your offerings that make it irresistible, learn my exact script so you can come across authentic and real, and create urgency so then they buy immediately, then click on the link below and join my free masterclass.
Share, how good the feeling was after completing the session, and I think the feedbacks were just too good. So that is forcing me to think beyond. I think it was pretty linear thinking earlier, and now it is pretty diversified. So that is very helpful.
Thank you, Charlene, Christiane, and Sam, for obviously the benefit and the inspiration you've given to so many of us, and to all the participants, because I think for me personally, this is the first time I've felt that I've been in such a safe space to be vulnerable and to make mistakes. And I know that a lot of us have shared some really traumatic events in our life, possibly for the first time publicly. So that's just been a really huge thing. So thank you for everyone for opening up, and for people to open up and be authentic.
I'd like to firstly acknowledge you, Sam. Thank you so much for instituting the Speakers Institute, and all of the lovely people who've attended today. I think they've done an absolutely wonderful job. I think all of their stories are worthy of stage presence. I think you'll all go very far.
I just wanted to say, being out of the workforce for 6 years, looking after little kids, and this is the first course I've ever done, and it was astounding. It blew my mind. It was beyond my expectations. And thank you, Kate, for the feedback today. That was brilliant, and it's given me the confidence to back myself, because I didn't have that before. Because when you leave for a while and you come back, it's all a bit dodgy. So thank you.
And it was really an experience which I was looking for, to give that push, the last push which is needed, because I'm very low on execution. So your story and your message gave me that push which I really needed. So thank you very much, and also to the fellow participant for bearing with me.
Thank you, everyone. You've all inspired me today, and I want to thank you, Sam, for putting this on, and Christiane and Charlene inspired me to come through conversations we had, and so I'd like to thank her in particular, and got a lot out of it. So thank you, everyone, and thanks for all the lovely comments.
First of all, I would like to say thank you, massive thank you to every single one of you. It was a great company. Proximity is power. I'm overwhelmed with all the love and energy and everything else. I've learned so much. And by this sheer circumstances by now, that I'm sitting at home and I actually can do it. I'm blown away that I'm actually doing it. It's amazing.
And I really want to thank you, Sam, for this amazing course.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank every single one of you, especially you, Sam, and all of the mentors as well. There can be at times where we're alone. We think we're the only ones, we feel like we're the only ones going through that. And to share would be to burden each other. But in a space like this, it actually brings us closer together. So thank you very much for sharing all your stories, and thank you for the opportunity.
I'd actually just like to thank Sam and the team so much for everything you've done, but I'd really like to thank everybody else. I have learnt so much from all of you. It's just been so exhilarating. I'm so excited for each and every one of you because it's just the growth in such a short space of time has been phenomenal. So thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It has been absolutely awesome. I've learned a hell of a lot today and I'm improving. It's been really awesome.
I wish everyone all the best. I think it's a wonderful course. And Sam, you've created an amazing business, but I also want to, you've got working and wouldn't be that great if you didn't have all this wonderful resource. And I congratulate them for supporting you. It's excellent.
Thank you very much. All the feedbacks were golden for me. I learned a lot. Plus, how I should not try to put I should not try to put all the information in those 6 minutes. I should let the audience absorb what I'm trying to convey. They should absorb my story, and so as the energy level should fluctuate properly at the right moment. So thank you very much for that.
So I want to say, look, I've forever been doing courses and programs. I've probably spent over $350,000 in my life. This was worth every cent. I'm very, very impressed with the level of knowledge of the coaches, and they just kept offering gold nugget after gold nugget. Definitely was worth every minute as well. Yeah, I really want to thank the coaches, and I've noticed a difference in everyone as well over the last couple of days as well. So thanks.
Guys, I just wanted to say my work relies on face-to-face workshops, speaking at conferences around the world. So investing in this course is really about looking to the future. So it's really an investment in the long term. It's been a really, really professionally put together course. So commendations all round to all of you.
To all the staff from Speakers Institute, you guys have been really supportive and really, really lovely and encouraging. But to everybody else, for all of your honesty and your courage for stepping up here and just giving all, because I've learned so much from every single one of you, and it's just been really, really good. Thank you.
My name is Sarah Cordiner, and a long time ago I was one of the proteges. Now back then I had absolutely no idea where I was going to go. I was an expert in my field, but I was working very much in the corporate space. I also had no followers on any social media accounts. I had no email list. I had no people anywhere on a database that was out there in the public market. But I knew that I needed and wanted to get out, get online, and make a difference to the world. And I knew that the only way I'd be able to do that is to go out and start speaking, putting myself out there as an individual. And it was really confronting because there's all these kind of things that we go through. Will people like me? Will people engage with me? Will anyone even care about what I have to say? Will people mock me? Will people criticize me? Will I be torn down by my competitors or trolls? So I had all of these worries, like everyone else does, not knowing where I was going to start. Do I start with the logo, the website, the message, the theme, the branding, the story? It's all very, very overwhelming. So I want to reassure you guys that I was absolutely there. After going on Sam's program, I have gone on to win multiple awards. I have now got over 20,000 students in 146 countries. I have been listed by the Huffington Post as one of the top 50 must-follow female entrepreneurs. I've published 12 books, 5 of which have gone to international #1 bestseller. I recently was headhunted by a university and now hold the record for being the youngest university director in Australian history. And I have done all of this from working in the spare bedroom in my house. I now have a multi-million-dollar education company with children running around. And one of the things that I really want to make clear to other people is that everyone can do this. Every single person. I had no special starting point. I had no investors. I've never had anyone give me money. I absolutely have just started on the corner of a kitchen table with nothing but a dream, a drive, and an ambition. And that is the only thing you need to get started.
I developed from being an athlete. I played football, I did arm wrestling, I did cage fighting. And I never even knew of speaking as a profession before the Speakers Institute. The training's been phenomenal. It puts you in such a place of discomfort, but then you become comfortable by the end of it. It's about growth through pressure. My wrestling coach, he was big on being comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's what it's like in the Speakers Institute. You're surrounded with like-minded people, and the proximity of not just the people in the group with you, but the guys that instruct you, the Sams, the Nicks, the Craigs, the whole team is just, they're above and beyond. I just love being there every second of it. Currently, I've spoken up and I love doing that. Speaking is now my fighting. That's what I prepare for, that's what I plan for, that's what I train for. I've developed myself miles beyond where I was. I read books now. I never used to read books. In the last 3 weeks, I've finished 4 books, which over the last 13 years, I hadn't read 1 book. So it just changes me as a person inside and out, because it really makes you want to grow. It makes you want to develop and move forward, to be the person you should be.
This is the Celebrity Authority Show. Please welcome your host, Sam.
Alright, so here we are at another Celebrity Authority Show, and we have in the studio Kirsty Salisbury. Kirsty, thank you so much for coming all out here.
Thank you, Sam. It's great to be here.
Now, you're originally from New Zealand. Tell us a little bit more about who you are, what you do.
Okay, well, I'm Kirsty. I am a crisis expert. And so what that means is that I help people, and also myself, to break out of difficult circumstances, break out of situations in our lives which are really difficult and where we've experienced crisis, to not be encased in by our situations and to find the positive in these situations as well.
Kirsty, I love how you said I help people and also help myself. And it's so true, isn't it, that sometimes we tend to preach a lot rather than actually think, okay, what can I learn through this as well? So tell us more about your own crisis.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I believe that crisis, we have different levels of it, and it's always going on. It's not one thing that we have and then it's done. We go through different crises through our life. So for me, my major one started when I was 12 years old, and I had a brain aneurysm on my head, and that burst, and I had a brain hemorrhage. And that was surgically removed, but what that meant...
So can I just take back, so you had a brain aneurysm. What exactly is that? Is that like a tumour and it's inside, or what exactly is it?
So it's a malformation, which means that the blood vessels haven't quite developed properly. Okay. So whether it was before I was born or early on, it just hasn't developed the way that it should have. And so what happened was a lot of pressure built up through that malformation, and then it caused the brain to bleed, it burst. And so the surgical part of that, so I've had brain surgery, love that. I was left completely paralysed down the left side of my body. So I obviously had to completely start a whole new life, and this was my big crisis.
So it was like a stroke?
Well, yeah, I had a stroke as a result of what was going on. So I was now dependent on everybody else for every part of my life. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even go to the bathroom by myself. I couldn't feed myself. I couldn't do anything. I could talk with a whole lot of dribble that came out with it because I couldn't control my mouth movements. So completely reliant on my family. At that age, not so much my friends. Mostly
so
my
how
family.
old were you?
So I was 12 years
You're
old.
12
Just
years old.
had my 12th birthday party. Yep.
Mate, that is really tough.
Yeah, it was really tough, and there was so much that I've learnt through that experience. It took a long time, and you know, then they led on to other things that went on in my life related to this, other health crises that I went through. And what I've learnt from that is that there's always positive. Not to play victim, not to say, well, that was really hard. I mean, there was elements of why me, why did this happen to me? But actually, I turned that round to, why did this happen to me? What can I do with this? How can this enrich my life and then enrich others' lives?
Kirsty, I have so many questions, and I wanted to acknowledge you. You know, your happiness and your positivity through disaster is commendable. Tell us more about it. how did you get through having half your body completely paralyzed? Are you now 100% recovered, or tell us a little bit more about this journey to who you are today, which is a happy, healthy, from what I can see, beautiful person.
Yep, I am very happy. I am very healthy. I still have remaining issues. I have a lot of numbness on my left side. I wake up with pins and needles. Lots of days where I feel like I can't do certain things. But on those days, I go to the gym every day. I love it. Those days when I wake up and I literally feel completely numb, like I can't walk or I can't get on the bike, I'll go and I'll find something that I can do. So whether that's stretching or some yoga or something where I'm still in my daily routine, I'm still in my habit of exercising, but not at the same level. I have a lot of things which go on. I don't see so well out this side of my body, so that, I always like to be against a wall, or if somebody's walking with my husband or my family.
So it's even affected your sight as well?
It's not my sight. My sight's there. It's my ability to recognise the space. It's like a spatial thing.
Wow.
So if my family are on that side of me, they always know now, you've got to come around. I always want them on this side, because I can feel how close
I'm interviewing you on the
right
right
side.
side.
Yeah, this is all good. I did have that thought of, I hope that's going to be on the right side.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is about recognising what can I control. So even really early on, as I'm in my hospital bed, paralysed, and that we knew at that point that it wasn't going to be permanent, as if, it was going to come back to some degree. And I've worked very, very hard on this. I still work daily on my body. It's not something which just came back very easily.
So has it come back fully? Or
no, it's not fully. I've still got weakness. I have my left side, I don't have much fine motor movements on my left side, my left hand.
Okay.
When I do things, I tend to neglect my left side quite a bit. I have a little limp. It's not too bad, but it's enough that people do notice it. And I wear down shoes really quickly. So I get to go shoe.
You wear down your shoes?
Yeah,
on
only the left. Yeah.
Because you're dragging.
Yeah, I'm dragging, or I'm tilting, twisting kind of differently to the right side. So it's a great excuse to go shoe shopping.
Yeah. Like, you're so positive. Like, still you're suffering from this since you've been 12 years old, yet you've got this happiness and this positivity through a tough crisis. And I'm sure there are people out there right now that have been through some tough times, whether it's in your personal life or your professional life. What would you say to them? And is there a formula? Is there a system for you to be positive and upbeat through tough times? Or do we have to have tough times to find the positive? Tell us
you
more.
don't need tough times to find the positive. I believe that that's a choice and that we can all find that. I think there's an element of actually going through the situation, going through the tough time. It's not create the happiness and ignore what's going on. Like, there was definitely a time where, why me? Why did this happen to me? This is awful. There is self-pity, there is anger, there is tears.
And you're saying that we all need to go through that?
I believe we need to go through that. I've had other circumstances in my life. You can't cut that off, because what I think that does, that shows up later in life.
We hide it.
We hide it and we take it into us, and then I believe that comes out worse later on. So I'd say go through what you're going through. Don't ignore it. But then when it comes to a head...
But not for too long.
Yeah, not for too long. Don't dwell on it. Don't become a victim of it. So go through the motions.
Okay.
Acknowledge your grief, your pain, your sorrow, your hardship.
Yeah.
Acknowledge your crisis, and then allow yourself some time to heal. Okay. And as you heal, start to think, what are the things I have control of in this situation? What can I actually adapt?
Yeah.
And even in my hospital bed, thinking, I can adapt this, I can walk. I couldn't do it straight away. It was a process. So allow yourself the time to go through the process, but don't get complacent. Don't get to the point where that's it, I've done enough. Even today, daily I work on my body, daily.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hey, I suppose the question on most people's mind would be, for how long? Like, allow yourself that time, which is great, to grieve, etc. But how long? Like, is it, I lost a loved one 3 years ago, so now I still don't work because of my sadness? Or, so give us an idea of how long should we be in that place?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And you know, I think the answer is we will know inside. Everybody is different. It depends on the crisis. It depends on the depth of it. It depends on what you're going through. You will know when, do you know when you try really hard at something and then you actually know the point where you've kind of relaxed a little bit and you're not putting in the same effort, or you're not, it doesn't feel so painful, it doesn't seem so hard to go through. And if we're in touch with ourselves, I have to live very consciously, and so what that means is everything in my life, I'm very aware of what I'm doing and the impact it's going to have. And I think everybody should live that way. When we do that, we actually are more in touch with ourselves, what's going on. And so I think the answer is we will know inside if we're open to knowing.
Kirsty, you are so inspiring. So what do you now do? What are you getting a message out there in the world? Or what,
yeah,
tell me more about what do you do?
So now I'm speaking, I'm doing some public speaking, and I'm hoping to train other people how they can get out of their own crisis. So crisis means different things to different people. For some it's death, for some it's illness, for some it's a marriage that's not going well, relationship, financial, career. There's so many degrees of crisis. And so it's about teaching people how they can overcome that and to delve in and to find the positive in their crisis. There is positive, you can always turn it around. Why did this happen to me? Complaining, or why did this happen to me? What can I do with this?
I think I remember either reading a blog or watching a blog of yours, and your blog was something around crisis is a gift. Tell me more about that.
Yep, so that's flipping the crisis upside down and finding the element of that. How can this crisis be of strength in my life? How can it help others? That's great. And it all comes back to not playing victim, like I've said before. What is the good things that can come out of this? Even in a death or a marriage breakdown, there's always something good. How we situations, we can pull good things out of them.
Yeah. Wow,
so
look,
that's the gift.
Yeah, I just absolutely love it. And you know something, it gives us a whole new spin of the way that we see crisis, which is awesome. Hey, Kirsty, what do you love doing in your spare time? How do you recharge yourself? Is it going to the gym? What does Kirsty do for Kirsty?
Ironically, it is going to the gym and it's training my body very hard. I like to push very hard, and every day I'm grateful for what it can do. Some days it can't do it, and that's okay. I'm still grateful for that. I love to be with my family. We recently bought a camper van, and we've just spent 2 months.
Fun.
Yeah, 2 months travelling all around New Zealand. We've been all over. And I love the freedom of just being in nature, not having plans, just being able to live and experience and
love it.
Do things like that. Yeah.
Hey, Kirsty, thank you so much for coming all the way from New Zealand through to us. Now, look, there's something else you need to know. Today is Kirsty's birthday.
Oh, thank you.
We feel completely honoured for you to spend your birthday here in the studio, which is really cool.
I feel honoured to do that too.
So again, thank you so much for coming over. But before you go, we have this section at the end of our interviews where it's a challenge, and it's called the 10 Questions in 60-Second Challenge. So Kirsty, do you accept the challenge?
I accept.
All right. So Kirsty, your time starts. Favorite food?
Peanut butter, absolutely.
Really?
I can eat it by the jar. Don't get me
like
started.
Celery sticks or just
just the spoon.
Goodness, that is favorite celebrity.
For me, because I don't really in that way. I've got a lot of people I admire.
Yeah. Who's that? Favorite person you admire?
At the moment,
Who's that?
He's the Good Life Project.
Oh yeah, love it.
Really inspired by him.
Favorite
girl. Really cutesy. I love
very
it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Favorite professional speaker?
That's a tie between yourself and Lewis Howes.
Wow.
Love
Thank
Lewis.
you. Yeah,
love
Lewis is great. He's the School of Greatness. School of Greatness. Yeah. Favorite book?
I'm going to say The Code of the Extraordinary Mind.
Yes.
Vishen Lakhani.
Yep.
Love it.
Favorite movie?
Amelie, Audrey Tautou.
Yeah, of course, yes. Favorite city?
I love everywhere. I love Paris. I love Geneva because I lived there for quite a long time in Switzerland.
That's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
Favorite drink?
Depends on the weather. I'm going to say, this is really boring, sparkling water with a twist of lemon.
No, it's not boring. It's very refreshing. Favorite pizza topping?
Again, I don't really eat pizza, but I would probably go Hawaiian.
Hawaiian,
Yeah,
yes. And Kirsty, if you could be an animal, which animal would you be?
I'd be a cat.
A cat, why is that?
Yeah, so many cuddles and so cutesy. Everyone loves cats. Well, I shouldn't say. Most people love cats, and they sleep in the sun. They wander around. They do whatever they like.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Kirsty. Thank you so much, Kirsty, for joining us here at the Celebrity Authority Show.
Thank you.
Our next TENx speaker is a passionate change maker who believes we are all capable of and responsible for making the world a better place. Having nearly died in an extreme sports accident at 25, he now lives his life by the motto that each day is a gift and is not given. He has strived to make change through multiple personalities as an engineer, a renewable energy developer, sponsored explorer, and now a TENx speaker. Through his message, Glide to Soar, he aims to share insights on how to reach personal success. His vision is to inspire others to live their dreams. We're so glad that he has dropped in. So please, welcome to the TENx stage, Shane Quinnel.
We are all searching for something. Paragliding is one of the many incredible things that I have done in my life. Gliding is a technique commonly used when paragliding through turbulent or sinking air. It's simple. When things get ugly, you glide. When you lose height, in order to glide efficiently, accept the conditions to save energy. You need purpose to maintain and focus to find upward moving air called thermals. Miraculous, invisible thermals are your tickets to the sky. After thermaling, when you are literally touching the clouds, the magic happens. The air is cool. There is no sound but the wind. It feels like you can see and sense the whole world. Those moments touching the clouds are the closest I have ever come to what we are all chasing: complete fulfillment. It feels like you are ultimately free and yet belong completely, like true success. It is the sensation of your whole being soaring. Each one of us in this room can achieve that state of soaring. This is my story. It was a hot, dry day in remote. I sit in a seat made of thin nylon. Strings millimeters thick connect me to a parachute-like wing. The flimsy material is all that suspends me above the ground and 200 meters rugged mountain range. The sun scorches my face. As I move at speeds of up to 50 kilometers an hour, the air cools me down. I am mesmerized by the curve of the earth. I give no conscious thought to the fact one wrong move could mean death. I am completely content and alive. Crack! I start falling from the sky. My wing collapses violently. Adrenaline explodes through my body as I am thrown into a game of life and death. I react. My wing reopens, but knotted, it sends me into a death spiral. I look down to throw my emergency parachute, but the only power lines on the entire mountain range are directly beneath me. If I throw my chute, I risk being fried. If I don't, I'm dead. I throw my chute. It jerks me. I slow momentarily. Whoosh! Another gust hits me. It slings me 180 degrees straight at the legs to brace for impact. Smash! Crush. My back nearly snaps in half, and my limp body somersaults into the vegetation. The only two witnesses are sure I am dead. I'm sure I'm dead. Blackness consumes me. I wake between two rocks. Pain explodes from my back, my feet, my legs. Fear hits me. Will I live? Will I walk? I focus everything on not moving. I pinch my face. I even hit my head on rocks to stop myself moving. The 1 hour it takes for the first person to arrive. Hours later, I'm in hospital. A doctor explains, "You have crushed both your legs. You've smashed multiple bones, and Shane, you've badly broken your back." I don't understand everything through the morphine fog, but I remember these words perfectly. "Shane, we don't know if you will walk again." Weeks later, I'm still in a hospital bed. I can't move. I have to get suppositories to poo on myself, and it feels like lava flows in my veins. Negative thoughts grow. You're going to be here a long time. You won't walk for months. Why me? I feel that black hole of depression pulling me in. I look out the window. Stop! I realize I am on the edge of a psychological cliff. We've all been there. But regardless of how hard I fight, I will still be in hospital for a long time. Flying was incredible. It was my choice, and I do not regret it. I realize I have a decision to make. To fight and sink into that negative spiral, or smile. Because I'm alive. Because despite what the doctors say, I will walk again. Because nearly dying taught me the gift of life. It's a no-brainer. I decide to accept my situation and save energy. I decide to find a purpose worth living for. My biggest dream of climbing Africa. I decide to focus on reaching that state of soaring. I start to glide again. In the 3 years thereafter, my wife and I lived our dream. We overcame huge obstacles, including my relearning to walk, serious chronic pain, and being retrenched. We both got typhoid, and we had hundreds of dead-end sponsorship requests. But by persistently using acceptance, purpose, and focus, we overcame each of those challenges and eventually landed major sponsorship for our African adventure. We then drove 25,000 kilometers around Africa, living in our tiny 4x4 for 9 months. We climbed the continent's 5 highest mountains, the 5,900 meter Kilimanjaro, just 2.5 years after I lay mangled on that mountain. I was finally soaring again. So I know what you're thinking. Okay, epic story, dude, but what's in it for me? Your presence in this audience tells me that you too have a vision. You want to soar. Your problem is how. It took me years to understand what falling from the sky had taught me. But to save you from having to hit a mountain to learn these lessons, I want to share two. Number one, achievement is not success. The fulfillment that we are all seeking is not a race that you win against other people. True success is a state of mind. I was not soaring because I climbed 5 mountains. Rather, it was because of the personal growth gained in climbing out of rock bottom, facing my doubts and living my dreams anyway. Number 2, adversity is a part of life. You will hit sinking air as you try to soar in life. But like in paragliding, the only way to overcome these downtimes is to glide. Accept your situation, save your energy. Focus on reaching the sky and find that purpose to maintain height. Now, I am not special. I'm a married millennial male. This means I suck at multitasking. I have the attention span of a sophisticated goldfish, and I'm never right. Just ask my wife. If I can soar, so can you. Now today, I challenge you. Stop wishing for that life of your dreams. Join me in saying, I have decided to stop searching, start gliding, and soar to your success! Woo!
Have you ever felt when things are going good in your life and there is nothing much to complain about, yet you keep on wondering, is this it? Is this all there is to my life? I'm very glad to be here at this place. Proximity is definitely power. We have learned a lot over the days. I have found out that it is better to the source and get the answer. So I began of mercy. Plans for me, a divine plan, a purpose for my life. In chapter number 17, I find Allah saying, let each one work according to his will. And your Lord is most knowing of who is the rightly guided one.
You are so inspiring and also empowering with your voice. We need more women like you to raise up, not worrying about what other people think of them, but to stand their ground and show what's possible.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode here at Speakers TV. My name is Sam Cawthorne and we are super excited about Speakers TV and about these episodes that we bring to you every single weekday as well as also on every single Saturday. Guys, we'd love to hear from you. If you've got any feedback at all for us, or maybe you want to comment right now in the chat bar about what was your biggest takeaway from today's session. But also not only that, why don't you join us? So here at Speakers Institute, we do have a number of programs such as our online boot camps or our protege program. At Speakers about running these big, large annual conferences every year, but also not only that, there is an annual membership that you can get where in your city we do have tribe gatherings, all really encouraging you going from where you are today to where you really want to be. Or maybe you want to tell your friends and your family about Speakers TV. Why don't you like this page? Why don't you join us each day? Why don't you tell other people about these episodes? Because we are all about really helping you on this journey to becoming that recognized voice of authority, for you to find your message and your story and get that out there into the world. We are super excited about your journey, so please lean in and join us today. To your success, my name, and don't forget, is yet to come.